Good day guys, welcome to today's video. So what we're doing in today's video is we're continuing integration. So what we want to do today is integration of questions like this. How do you do it? Now before we go into the question, I want to implore you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, click on the notification icon and also share the videos to your friends and loved ones. So now let's get started with today's question. Now look at this question. They said integrate 1 plus x over s with dx. That's what the question is telling us. So let's do that. Solution. So we are here to solve problem. So now look at it. Integration. So let's change that to integration sign. So this is integration sign. 1 plus x over s with dx. Now the next thing we want to do now is that let me try as much as possible to make my handwriting more larger than this so that you can see it very well. So 1 plus x over s cubed dx. You understand? Now what we want to now do is that whenever you see question like this, one of the things that we implore you to do is now take note of something. If you have a question like this, if you have something like this, like if you have a plus b over y, do you understand? You can rewrite it in another way. You can rewrite it can become you divide a here, you divide it by y plus you can still say b over y. Do you understand? So that's what we want to do here. Because you cannot integrate it like this directly. So you have to like use some strategies. And that's what makes mathematics. So let's do it. So I will now become 1 over s cubed plus x over s cubed. Do you understand what I did that place? So that's it. Now the next thing I want to now do here is now 1 over s cubed. What will that give me? 1 over s cubed. What will that give me? That will now give me what? Now normally 1 over a cubed. What will it give you? A minus raised power. Anything raised power like 1 over anything. Like if you have 1 over a, it is b to be minus 1. 1 over 100, that will be 100 raised power minus 1. Do you understand? 2 raised power 1 over 2 is 2 raised power minus 1. Do you understand that in indices? This is just rule of indices. So the same thing I will now apply here. It will now become s raised power minus 3 plus, x cancel the cube. It will now become 1 over s squared, right? So 1 over s squared is the same thing as what? S raised power minus 2. So that's what I will do here. It will now be s raised power minus 2 into what? Dx. Now that I've gotten this, the next thing for me to do is now to what? To integrate. I think by now you know the rule of integration. The rule of integration, let me just rewrite it again. If you have x like this, raised power n, and you want to integrate, integration will be s raised power n plus 1 over n plus 1 plus c. So that's how to integrate, right? So that's the same thing that we apply here. Although here we have only one, but here we have two. Like we have two things. We have one thing here. So I'm going to apply the rule of integration here. So we now have, now look at it. So we now remove the integration sign. It will now be x raised power minus 3. You will add 1 on the power. The same thing you write here, you now write it bottom. Do you get the logic? It's very simple. Then you now add, write this, see what I did again, minus 3 again. You add 1. The same thing you write up here, write it as the denominator. Do you see what I just did now? So that's just very simple. Now, what's the next thing you're going to do? Now, look at the question. They do not use k in this answer. So you can use k. It's either use k or use c. Both of them are correct. It doesn't matter the constant, what you try to use as your constant. So let's use k because that's what they use in the option. Now, what's the next thing you want to do? Just add them and subtract. So what do we have now? That will be minus 2 here. Here too we have what? Minus 2. The same thing here too. Plus, we have what? Minus 1. Here too, you have minus 1 plus k, right? Now, the next thing I want to now do is this minus in the front here is going to affect the minus here. Let me try to rub some things away from this place. I will have to manage this space. I have to manage this space. So please, you have to bear with me. So now there is something here that you need to note. Like you have x raised power minus 2 on your numerator. On your denominator, you have minus 2, right? Now, let me do it this way. X raised power minus 2 divided by minus 2. So what do we have? Now, what is x raised power minus 2? You know, x raised power minus 2 is the same thing as 1 over x squared. Do you agree? X raised power minus 2 is the same thing as 1 over x squared. Because a raised power minus 1 is the same thing as 1 over a. Do you agree? A raised power minus 2 is the same thing as 1 over a squared. So the same thing I want to do here. So it will now be 1 over s squared divided by minus 2. You know, the division now, if I want to change it to multiplication, this one will become 1 over minus 2, right? So it will now be 1 over s squared times 1 over minus 2, right? So as I'm doing it in this side, for this left hand side, let me do this for this side too. So it will now be plus s raised to minus 1 divided by minus 1, right? Plus the same thing that I did here, it will now be 1 over x divided by minus 1. Do you understand? So I have 1 over x now times this one will now be what? 1 over minus 1. Do you understand? So that's what I'm doing. So don't forget we have plus k, plus k, plus k. Now the next thing we are doing now is 1 times 1. 1 times 1, 1. Minus 2 times x squared, minus 2x squared. Plus 1 times 1, 1. X times minus x. What do you get? Minus x. Now, this is where the problem is. And it's not really a problem. Minus that is here is going to affect this plus. So you have to write minus. You cannot be writing two things together. Do you understand what I did here? Minus times x is minus x. Plus is here. Plus and minus cannot be staying together. Like I cannot write plus here and put minus here. I must use that minus to affect the plus. Do you understand what I did? So it will now become minus, sorry. It will now become so x like that plus k. So looking at the option, what do you think is your answer? Of course, that's the option D. That's the option D. So thank you very much. You understand now? Everything, all these things are not hard. They are simple. So that's what option D. So thank you very much for watching today's video. I want to implore you, if you have not subscribed, ensure you subscribe before, and also drop your comment. I want to hear from you how this video helped you one way or the other. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.